Hello there guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well. So today I'm going to do another update on Sean Fights Back, number 3 I think this is. A lot's happened since I last did an update like this. I have now completed my 12 weeks of therapy, and you know what? If anything, I've proved to myself that I can stick at something and I can see something through, because I'm sure, probably, I expect my family to have reservations about me if I could stick it out or anything, but I do, and I probably would say I'm proud of myself for doing so, because you know, when you are anxious or suffering from a mental health illness, it's quite daunting thinking you have to go somewhere for that period of time, but it obviously doesn't really feel like that once you're doing it. Well, once you go to the first appointment and then you go to your second, third, fourth, and then all of a sudden it's finished and you've completed the course of treatment. But what I want to talk to you about today is that how it's helped me and how I look at things in different ways, and I think to myself that I can do things and I have got things I am good at, and it's not all bad, and you know, I can make my life positive really. I can do things that I never thought I could, and I have got the skills that I didn't think I had. I'm sure people that are watching and have anxiety or something similar, they can all relate to that, and they all know that things can get better, I suppose. So what I wanted to say was that things went really well, better than I expected really, because I had tried CBT before, probably about 18 months ago, 2 years ago now, and what put me off was the therapist who I had. He had me walking down to the end of the road and then walking back, and that wasn't really for me, that wasn't really going to help me. But this time I had someone who listened to what I was saying, you know, who understood what I was saying, and that helps us. I think if you've got a therapist or someone similar and they understand what you tell them and they listen to you, you know, things can really help you and go far in a short period of time. So what I've learned is that try to think positive about most things, you know. Obviously you're going to have shit things happen and things that throw you back, but it's how you react to that. You can either dwell on it and let it get you down, or you can think, well, that happened, but things bad happen now and again, and there's nothing you can do about it really. It's how you react to the situations and how you can not put a positive spin on it, but how you can just brush it off, you know, and just think, well, okay, I've had a bad day today, but tomorrow's a new day, you know. That thing may not happen again. Even if it does, you know, you just brush it off, because you can only think that way for a period of time, I think. And as your thought processes change and you just become more open to different things, and I think that's what I've done, because going into the process, I didn't really, as I said, I didn't really think it would help me, or I didn't think I would stick to it, but it was only 45 minutes at a time, and just even going speaking for that short period of time, you know, you can talk about things that maybe you struggle with and want to get better at, or things that you didn't realise you struggle with, but how to overcome it. And I think that's the main thing really, is once you speak about it, it's what everyone says, you know, don't bottle things up. If you talk about it, you'll feel a better person for it, and I would definitely say that's the case. There's not any reasons why, if you are worried about going to see a therapist or something similar in the same profession, don't worry about what people think, because at the end of the day you want to do it for yourself, and you want to get your lives back on track, or you know, have a better way of living or something like that. And it's definitely worth doing, because now I'm in a position which I didn't really see myself being in 12 weeks ago, and that's that I've now got my apprenticeship process back on track, like I mentioned probably back in June or July when I started the channel, and that's quite a big thing for me because it's something that I haven't been able to do previously because of my lack of confidence. I mean, my confidence is still pretty low, but now I've got the information, I suppose, to, you know, try and do things like approach people that I wouldn't have done before. I still wouldn't say that I would go to social things or anything like that. I don't think I've overcome that yet, but that will happen in time. But the real thing that's probably changed is I've grown a little bit in confidence and more open-minded, because before, if you said to me, you've got a thing coming up with a load of people, I would just say, okay, well, I won't be going to that. But now, I still not cock-a-hooped about that sort of thing, but I now know that I will be able to go, okay, well, I'm not really over the moon about that, but it's something that I can do, and I can stick the situation out. I can now approach people, maybe not masses of people, but I could probably now have a conversation with the person opposite me or next to me at a table at a group situation, which I definitely couldn't have done before. I would have just sort of sat at the back really and just shied away from it. And I think that's one of the main things, you know. It's alright to be shy, as I got told in the process, but you've got to just sort of not overcome it fully, but you just got to sort of bring yourself around to say, okay, so if you speak to someone and they might reject you or you might not hit off with them, you just got to say to yourself, okay, well, that's only one person and there might be 10 other people in the room, and you might have a good conversation or engage with 6 of them. And that's the sort of thing that I've got to really implement and, you know, and stick to. Another thing that I found out about myself in the process is that I am actually quite sociable. Before, I would definitely wouldn't have thought I was sociable at all. But it's also told me that I have got the social skills, you know. I've got the ability to speak to people, make friends, but it's just having, my main thing is the confidence to do that, and I haven't had that yet. But I think with what I've got coming up in a month's time or so, that's my first big test really, to see if I can cope with it. Maybe I'll have good days, maybe I'll have bad days, but I'm going to try and complete it and see the process through, because at the end of the day it's got my dream job or job opportunities at the end of it. So yeah, this is the main things that I've learned a lot about myself, I would say, in the last 12 weeks, and I've still got quite a way to go as in the confidence and things like that, but that will come with time. And as I say, I've finished the course now, and I can just go back if and when I need to for a few refresher sessions or whatever, if I wanted to do group therapy or something similar to that. But yeah, what I would say to you, I couldn't stress it enough, is make sure you talk to someone, maybe professional, because although you talk to your family, you know, they don't really have the ability to make you see, well, it's probably blunt, but make you see sense. I mean, that's the way I would put it. And, you know, it's definitely something worth doing if you are suffering or you're having a bad time, because, I mean, I never would have done it really, as I said, after my experience last time, but I'm glad I have, and I think now maybe I'm on the right lines to doing what I want to do in the media and get my apprenticeship sorted and potentially have a good career in that, and do my travelling and, you know, get on with my goals and live my life the way I want to really. But yeah, just make sure you speak to someone really. That's the best advice that's out there, and it's the right advice, you know. Thanks for watching. What I did want to do is I wanted to read to you the last paragraph of the letter that I've got. This is my letter that discharges me, if you like. And this is what my therapist said about my progress the last 12 weeks. It reads, at the end of the treatment you were looking very well and spoken with much more confidence about your future, which I explained to you, obviously. For example, you're planning to return to uptake an apprenticeship, also thinking of longer term work opportunities. That was basically hoping to work in London when she asked me what I want to do in 5 years' time. We also agreed in the future you might return to our service for some top-up sessions or take part in a group therapy, as I mentioned to you. But at the end of the sign-off of the, if you like, letter, I suppose that's the most encouraging thing, how that letter ends. It says, I would like to say that it was a pleasure to work with you. I wish you every success and happiness in your future. So that gives me, you know, confidence, just something like that. So anyway, I hope this video makes sense and it helps in some way maybe. Anyway, I'm going to do a lot more videos on the channel now because I've got a spare few weeks, and I hope to continue making you laugh, smile, annoyed, whatever it does. Thank you for continuing to subscribe, that's been helpful as always. And don't forget to follow me on my social medias, which I'll drop below as well. And thanks for watching, and I shall see you next week.